is this thing on? Okay. I'm gonna give you my top 5 recommendations of 5 pretentious but still contemporary books that will make you look and feel smart as someone who has the attention span of a goldfish while I do my makeup. So let's get started. The first book that I want to talk about is We Are Liars by Lockhart, E. Lockhart. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that like a YA book? Yes, it is. But I feel like it's literally the gateway drug to pretentious fiction because of its beautiful, beautiful prose. And because parts of it are just like, they just make you question if the book is worth it. But when you get to the end, you definitely realize that the book is freaking worth it. And I say this as someone who hated this book, like in the beginning. I thought it was horribly dull and boring. And I'm not trying to like dissuade you from reading it, but I'm just warning you. But the end is really, really worth it. And because of that, I sort of have a love-hate relationship with it. It's about this rich, privileged white girl who spends her summer on a private island until something horrible happens that she can't quite remember. And it's revealed what this horrible thing is in the end. And when it was revealed to me, I shut the damn book and I just stared at the wall for like hours and hours because I was like, what the actual heck? It's been years later and I still think about this book, and that's how amazingly well written it is. In hindsight, it's one of the best books, young adult books that I've read. Next, I think you guys can all like guess what this book is. The Blueprint of Dark Academia, the godfather of pretentious fiction, the book that every literature major swears changed their life. Secret History by Donna Tartt. I know a lot of people say it's boring, that this book is boring. And the thing is, I hate boring. But I love this book. It's on my top 3 list for sure. The prose is just freaking beautiful, and it can keep you on your toes for hours on end. If you like lengthy, long, beautiful prose that's not like too overdone, this book is definitely for you. Follows the group of elite classic students spiraling into guilt and self-destruction is something horrible that they've done, but like in the most aesthetic way possible, if that even makes any sense. There are long philosophical discussions, morally bankrupt characters, and the interesting thing is the main character is horribly dull, just a mirror of the other characters. It just makes you realize how crazy the other characters are. If you want to read something that makes you feel like a misunderstood genius, this is the one. But also be prepared to feel absolutely empty for at least a month after this book, because after this book, I literally just could not find any other book that lived up to it. So I was just like horribly bored. I tried to read We Were Villains. I don't know what the frick that book is called, but I just felt like it was like a copy of The Secret History, and I just could not stop thinking about The Secret History. Okay, next. If you say that you've read The Secret History and you still think it's boring as heck, and perhaps you're someone who likes a bit more fantasy, who likes more fast-paced plots, Babel by R.F. Kuang is for you. The thing is, I get bored of books. As soon as I get bored of a book, I just like drop it if I don't think it's worth reading. This book, I didn't even feel like I had to do that. Like with We Were Liars, I questioned like maybe I should just drop this book. But with this one, I didn't even question that. If Secret History and Dark Academia Twitter had a love child, but it was raised on anti-colonial theory and linguistic nerdery, that would be Babel. This book takes us to 19th century Oxford with a group of multilingual students studying translation at a magical institute, only to realize that the entire empire is built on exploitation. It's got morally conflicted protagonists. You can just go back to this book multiple times and you can always find something new to talk about, new to discuss. It will make you spiral into at least one existential crisis about language, power, or oppression. And the thing is, I usually really dislike fantasy books. The only like fantasy book that I've actually liked has been Harry Potter. But this book perfectly melds together fantasy and academia, which makes it perfect for someone like me. I feel like I've really been reading more academia-centered books, and this book has been one of the only books that I've seen that have perfectly melded fantasy and academia. I just think R.F. Kuang is such a wonderful writer that she's able to bring all these different elements and put it into one book. If you love fantasy, being intellectually superior, and emotionally devastated, this one's for you. Also, the characters are really hot. If that's not enough of a reason, I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, next is Bunny by Mona Awad. And I'd like to preface this by saying that I have yet to finish this book. And you may be like, why are you freaking recommending it if you haven't finished it? Because it's so good. It's so memorable. And why have I taken so many... I have taken so many breaks while reading this. Why? Because the book is... It's so weird. The book is so weird. It's so unsettling. It makes you feel disgusting. So sometimes I just need to take a step back. As beautiful as it is, basically, the story is we follow this main character who is a broke creative writing student at an elite program who gets sucked into a cultish clique of rich girls that call each other bunny. These group of girls may or may not be performing actual dark magic. It's weird, it's unsettling. This book is literally just like Barbie and Secret History melded together. This is the book you recommend to people when you want people to think that you're quirky, but also a little bit deranged, so, you know, they take a little step back from you. Next book, My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I feel like out of all the books that I've talked about, this one is the one that I just don't see as many people talking about. And I don't understand why. This book is hot girl depression meets radical escapism. And I just feel like this book would have been especially, I don't know, relevant to the life we were living in 2020 because, you know, we were just like all like stuck in one place. And this book is just, the entire book, it's just about this girl who's stuck in one place. She's rich, she's beautiful, she has everything, but she's completely over it. So she decides to sleep for a full year with the help of some highly questionable drugs. The odd thing about this book is I read this a while ago, and I remember the feelings that I felt when reading this book so vividly, but I don't exactly remember what happened in this book as vividly. So it's like everything sort of melded together. It's like a dream, but an interestingly odd one. So you keep reading it. If you've ever fantasized about quitting life to become, you know, just a houseplant, this one will definitely speak to you. So there you have it. 5 books that will make you look pretentious, but are actually fun to read. Because, you know, they're contemporary, they're not like classics. Although I do love classics, so if you guys want recommendations of classics for people who get bored really easily, let me know. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments which one ruined your life the most. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and, you know, maybe take a break from reading about self-destruction and drink some water. Thanks. Bye, guys.